Convention of South Levee District will now come to order. Mr. March. Please, the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The secretary, please call the roll.
Ronald Collins.
Here.
Clarence Marks. Mitch Danoff.
Here.
Roland Curall.
Here.
Willie Woodley.
Here.
Bob Falk. Bob Falk.
Here.
McNeely Ron.
Here.
Steve Kidry.
Here.
Monty Vegas.
Here.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Okay. You presented a copy of the minutes of the last meeting. Any additions, deductions, or amendments to be as presented? Moved by Keith, second by Roland. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, the only thing I have to report is that we had our regular annual meeting of the Levee District Association this past week. I thought it was a very good meeting. We elected most of the members were re-elected, division president, vice president, secretary, and the various people of the Mississippi Valley Flood Association. I thought it was a very good meeting. It was different format from usual, in that we had our luncheon, which 90% of the people would skip from the last day. Everybody wanted to leave home, so they'd skip that meeting, move that up a day. So that was unusual turnout. Everybody was there for that one. And then the meeting finished, meeting finished real early, I think at 10 o'clock. The last meeting, executive committee met till 10. So I thought it was a great format. I liked the way it's set up. If any members have anything you want to add to it.
It went well. Went well.
Okay, so we'll move on to the executive committee. Keith?
Okay, well, the executive committee met this morning with our engineers and contractor for the floodgate boundary, and that was on our last meeting. Engineers had told us about the liquidated damages, and the contractor had questions on it. We met today with all of them, and the committee has a recommendation to just continue it like it was, and they'll be responsible for the liquidated damage.
Okay.
And that's on the recommendation of our engineer.
60-something days.
Do we actually need a vote of the board?
No, this, if you had to change, if you change the past
We had voted
motion,
on it
there's no
last
need, there's no action, so.
Okay, good. Anybody in the audience for the purpose of addressing the board? Now will forever hold your peace so you can win.
At least for this year.
This year.
Okay, now I need that, general manager report, remember?
All right. So we're gonna go over the work with the board. That works.
I know, but I mean, I don't know where you were.
Holiday season and all is well, hurricane season officially ended. Just had to deal with Barry, and it's really nice when a 6-foot storm surge just looks like a little pond in water compared to the levees that we have. So that's a good deal. Maybe just 10, 15 years ago, 6 feet of water would have made us have to really jump around a little bit. I can continue to work with the Rose floodgate. There's 308, and they're driving in the A-frame in here. They'll push the sheet piles pretty soon. Then we'll have the segment over here, and a little bit of work here, but they're progressing. And when we get a more detailed report, I just wanted to let y'all see how it looks.
Wendell, do we still have a problem of barge tows coming in and nosing up to the levee on the corner?
No,
Coming by,
we put a sign up there. I haven't heard of any complaints, nothing at all, in fact, since we had that action that we took. We put a sign and have everybody nosing up there.
Good.
And, again, here, they're setting up the form over here on the other side, they're getting it done. There you see the A-frame, it's the folder that was from here, and they'll weld it, and, then, this is, again, that's actually the new design. Eye walls are not accepted anymore by the Corps, so this is a A-frame eye wall which is accepted. And these are things we agreed with the changes that the Corps got into. And we're looking on the LA1 side from the 308 side. Again, same thing, drive A-frame, the pile down here, come across, we're gonna drive the sheets and attach, and we'll be getting that from an 8-foot elevation to a 13-foot elevation. This is some mitigation work that's being done for the K levee. That's marsh right in the corner of our levee that intersects with the Apache Forest Farm. And so, I mean, that's a substantial levee. I mean, I'm gonna show you what we do from our regular mitigation levee. Go back a little bit. Big, it's wide. I think we'll be able to grow some trees on this thing. So we have marsh on the inside, trees over here. I think I hear wood ducks. And then this is the work that we've been doing in the vicinity of the pump station. We're going back to the years of Paul's farm. This is the levee that CPRA built. And again, we're working on getting these settlement plates that we hadn't dealt with them since the Corps stopped building all them. We're getting them out and then start to maintain that levee. That's the work that we've been doing along the pump station number 2 at the base on boat launch. We're bringing all of that stuff up close to 18 right now. And this is our people. This is some of the dirt we took out from the other side, put it here. We're testing on what's the most efficient way to get this done. We're putting together an advertisement to do the rest of it because it's a lot of work. But this way, a contractor can look and he sees exactly what he needs to do, so he can sharpen up the pencil for his bid. And what we've done, that dirt is easy to work on, so contractors should not have any surprises when we start to get the work done. And this is going to take the dirt here and bring the crown up to 18 feet. We're also looking at the first idea is that we're going to bring it to 18 with as a smaller crown that we can and still do the job, and maybe not have to put more material for support and safety factor. And then we'll look at, if the money looks right, we'll expand from that. Also, we have some ground, the total level over here on the unprotected side. Now with high tides, it goes over the toe. So we'll probably put some of this dirt on the other side, raise it by another half a foot to a foot. Again, this is the inside. Again, we're taking that dirt. That's the dirt we took from the back of the people's property over here. Place it here, and you can see it looks really consolidated. And that's the process. We're going to excavate here, putting it here. And we hadn't been trucking any of it. It's all excavator, Drake?
Yeah, it's all been relayed on excavators and those.
And that's what we're looking at. Then a contractor can come in here, and he might come in with a drag line, a dirt machine, and he can take it from here and get it almost all the way over here, and then maybe just put up a bulldozer. But hopefully some contractor comes in with a real inexpensive way to get this thing up.
Some time back, we had problems with the widening of the canal. There was more wave action and we had an erosion on the bayou side of the canal. I know we drove some sheep out in certain sections. Is that solving a problem?
Well, that did, but we turned the real problem, what caused that problem, because we cut that canal at an angle that we felt vegetation should take. And, you know, we thought, oh, well, we widen the canal and it creates more wave action, but then we noticed we're not losing any dirt on our side. So what's the difference? And the simple difference. And on that side, the only place we have erosion is where people are killing the grass on the edge. Okay? And so we're telling people don't do that. We're no longer putting sheep pile out there. Because they're causing their own erosion, but we're not responsible. Okay? And so, I mean, you know, try not, we suggest people don't cut into the waterway. You know, the emergent grass that goes in the water just next to the land, and let that grow, and then cut with a bushel or whatever as close as you want. And if you do that, erode, the land's not gonna erode, the vegetation's gonna hold. So we've started the policy of putting the plastic sheet pile in those conditions. Thank you. Again, this is another view, that's our pump station, we got this up to 20 feet. Again, we're working this up to 18 feet. That's outside of the baseball pump station, you can see that's 20, and this is raising it close to 18 right here. That little sway back will come back and catch this number. But we're hoping to get this all the way to the Apache Farm, get it to 18 feet before next hurricane season. And part of that is also trying to get all the way to the bridge that goes to the Apache Farm. And to get that, if they get some overflow in the Apache Farm, that we'll have that protection a bit further up. And again, just some more views of the same place. You can see, here, like, this is on the south side. We didn't have enough material, so we got a contractor to bring it from that piece of levee. So this little sliver is bringing this up to 18 also. Here's the ramp, and now this is the low area. You know, we go ahead and we take all the low areas to get them higher, and once you get that done, the high areas become low, yeah, which is a good problem. When your highest spot becomes your lowest spot, that's a good deal. And so we'll continue working on this, and we'll raise the ramp a little bit. Again, that's just from the inside looking out. That same place. And I'm on top of the levee looking south. And again, that was all raised 18 feet. And there's the boat launch, and there you can see what we've raised. Now, you saw that containment that they built for the Section K11, for mitigation purposes. But here's a contractor. This is Ducks Unlimited, Fish and Wildlife Federation. I think that this CPRA has some money in here, and I think the parish has some money. And that's that area just, it's just to the northeast of Catfish Lake, right up against our levee. See, they put this containment, but they're pumping it here, and we're starting to see some of the mud way out here. I think there's a good chance that this is definitely gonna grow real well, and that we could probably have some closure between here and where the total levee is. Again, that's dirt coming up, and the water was relatively high at that time. And then this is on 8 East, again, some of the that's inside of our levee system where we have some wave erosion, and nobody's killing the plants. That's just, we got a problem. We put the plastic sheet pile, and you can see vegetation grew out over here, starting to grow out over here, and that's worked out real well for us. But that's also the area where we had the damage from the south. Again, it grew out to here, spread out here, and that's picking up. This actually grew out. These are new plants growing. That was in water before. This time last year, we had our problem with, 2 years ago, the Yankee Canal levee, and I don't know if okay. Well, this is the improvements that we did. This is the middle of the levee. This is the towards it goes down to Yankee Canal. Again, we built all of this. Goes down, and again, no problem at all. It worked out real well. This is the crossing of the loop pipeline, and again, maintaining. And notice how we're cutting the grass on top of the levee so we can see it. No problem. And we're going all the way to the back of the area where people live at Puerto Soces. Yankee Canal. This is how the levee used to look. This is gouged in pretty far and starting to eat part of the levee. Now this is the back side of the levee. You can see the water right here. You know, another 6 inches, there's a little bit of water right here. Another 6 inches, that starts flowing over. This could have cut a hole and flooded almost everything between Breton Canal and Yankee Canal. And we'd have probably had to close the floodgates to stop water coming in from the outside, and probably drop the level of the bayou to 3-4 feet, and a real disaster. But we took action. The parish agreed to pay for the repair. We did the repair, and we've been maintaining ever since. But yeah, this is that's the middle of the middle of the levee, and you had water, and then you just had the back side of the levee. This is while we were building it, and finished product. And it's good to have a Christmas where we don't have to worry about Yankee Canal levee. And when you got Santa Claus on your side, you always gotta do some good things. Look at Reggie, first time you ever.
Come on.
Yeah, look, when he
He's
was
on-
the elected official, he never snuck in anyway. He used to knock stuff down just to make some noise to get attention. Nah, he's working for the elected district, he sneaks in so nobody can get him.
Welcome.
That's right, huh?
Welcome.
Okay, well, authorization to execute amendment one, there's some, money shifted around that Reggie explained so well last meeting, for our agreement, our CEA between, North Lafourche, South Lafourche, and, Terrebonne Levee. And Ray's okayed it, so I'd like you all to authorize them to execute the amendment.
According to the recommendation of our general manager, we ask for authorization to execute amendment number one to the CEA between North Lafourche Levee District, South Lafourche Levee District, Terrebonne Levee District, on MT reaches KML, Organizing and Gulf reaches KML in Lafourche Parish. Your wish is moved by Monty, second by Keith. Any discussion? In fact, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Okay, in A East, we have the plastic sheet pile, and some of it was damaged by Hurricane Barry, or Tropical Storm Barry, whichever it was. But, we think we can get, emergency, with the emergency declaration, we think we can get 75% of that repair taken care of. The bid opening will be between this meeting and next meeting, so I'd like the board to authorize the president to award the bid upon the engineers approving. So,
What do you anticipate the cost of that?
uh,
I know we'll only pick up 25%.
Around 100,000.
100,000.
100,000, you're gonna have
And then
25,000.
75% will be, emergency preparedness.
Okay, gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation by the general manager to open bids on sheet pile for this section. Moved by Roland, second by Roland. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Also, we have included a state levee inspection report. They mentioned a couple of times on top of the levee that we need more grass, and in a couple of areas that we don't keep the grass down enough. So, nothing major, nothing that would cause us any flood issues. The watershed initiative pre-application, Stevie is not here. Oh, you're not, go ahead. Well, let's talk about it a little bit, if you could.
State your name for the record, please.
Brandon Washington with All South Consulting Engineers. What number we were going on?
That's E, that's the watershed initiative. This is a proposal to, we have on our mitigation air levy in section K in Morganza, and that's to do the two water control structures and build them up to handle a higher level of storm protection, so that it can be activated, open and closed, and deal with issues and do its hurricane protection levy that we're turning it into with section K.
Wendell,
Yeah.
tomorrow at 9:30 in Gray at South Central Planning, there's a briefing on this issue. I'll need to send some up there.
Right, yeah.
What time?
9:30 at South Central Planning on the applications, pre-applications which are due next week.
December 12th,
December
yeah.
20th.
20?
I think it's the 20th.
20.
Do you need action from the board on this
Uh,
application? or-
No, I think, well, let's go to action to authorize us to look and apply for that.
Heard the recommendation of the general manager. Moved by Mitch, second by Mac. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Yeah, I'll give a little report on the Gomesa funding legislation. A number of us went to Washington to try to change the percentage from 37% to 50%. Also increase the area that we can receive some of that money off of, because right now it's a very small area. And take off the cap. The cap is what, 500 billion, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, and take off the cap and get us closer to what the inshore, on the land-based oil sharing that the government does.
If I understood the guy correctly, the presentation to the board, there's a possibility the amount of money may go down. So even though we're increasing the percentage, we may get the same, or that's what they're misunderstanding.
No, I don't think we're gonna get less, I mean, it's, unless there's just less production, but right now,
But I
I
think
think
that
good
was the
production.
point, that there were so few companies producing offshore.
Well,
and it was falling off.
well, there's a difference. You have shallow offshore is declining, okay, and that's an issue. The deep offshore, that's really what we're looking at opening this up. It's kind of two different issues. Although there is some money in there, but our big issue is on the deep offshore. Yeah,
Because I was confused on what to ask them.
yeah.
I'm gonna read it.
But and that's the thing that Scott Orgel said, and what they're trying to do is they're saying, before, if you had shallow water and deep water, a company could do work in both and do well. The more and more you just do deep water, there's less and less individual projects that happen. So if you're not doing some work on shallow water, it makes it harder for you to do investment to make
One
money.
company can afford to do it.
Yeah, that's basically what Scott came to talk to us about. Okay, H, I was requested by Mitch Marmon, with Terrebonne Levee and Morganton Gulf, let's skip amendment number 2, that discussion, if the board is okay with it. We're not gonna deal with it today.
Go back to G.
Oh,
Let's not skip that one.
let's skip that one. Yeah, I just wanted to, that's a question of the board members about appointments. The president spoke to all the people who appoint, and they're pretty much satisfied with everybody, and we don't need to do anything more. We told them if they had any questions. We got the impression that everybody was pretty much
Basically, what
satisfied.
I was told from all of them was, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. They were satisfied with what we were doing. The only one person I haven't spoke to yet, but I spoke to him before the election, but I haven't spoken to him since the election, and that's Archie with the parish. He's the only one that I've spoken to everyone else, and they all agreed to reappoint my people, so we can have a continuation on board.
No, we agree with it. Again, I just wanted to, ask about what was going on with that. Again, back to Afton with H, we'd like to skip that on the recommendation of Ms. Marmon. If you have no objections, we will skip it. All right? Okay, we are going through a process to get some award to the management service of Grand Bayou. We'd like to authorize the president upon the process going through, Dwayne, myself, and Reggie are working this process. We're gonna come up with a number. Company gets the best number, we'll recommend to the president to hire them to do the management services for Grand Bayou. So we'd like a motion
Again, you've
to,
asked, you've heard the recommendation of our general manager, and the motion to that effect. Bob, motion, Max, second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
and we'd like to authorize us to advertise for the construction of Grand Bayou floodgate.
Construction management service, and then the public bid after that. Okay.
Yes, that's okay.
Same thing, our general manager has recommended that we advertise for public bids on this. By Monty, second by Mitch. Any discussion?
We got a,
Would just add, if we can, just add to have CPRA's blessing and
okay,
concurrence.
with the concurrence of CPR. So we just add that to the motion.
One vote on them or just?
No, just first.
Just for Jay.
Okay, number ready to vote? Yes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah,
Opposed, no.
it's under, yeah, it's in here.
All right, and we don't need to have a motion on this, but we would like to get a new server for our system. And it would be, our quote we have is $5,380. If you'll have no objection, we'll get a new server. A recommendation of merit.
As soon as needed.
Yeah.
It's becoming obsolete. The one we have is becoming obsolete.
Is that upgrade or?
What was it cost?
Wait,
Right
I'm
here, you just use that.
getting up there to get complete. Someone's gonna go. I'm young yet, he's old. That's all. Got gray hair. Exactly. And I'd like the board to pass a motion to give the store retreat annual contribution of $500.
done this every year for the last 10 or 15 years. It's a matter of continuation. Stating the motion, moved by Keith, second by Roll. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
That's all I have.
Okay, any questions about general manager? Okay, move on to engineer reports. CPO and Dan.
Yeah, thanks. Just a little announcement before, I think before this board meets again in January, CPRA is gonna have its annual plan, public meeting for our area. It's gonna be, we do this every year. It's at the home of Carolina Civic Center as usual. It's an open house starting at 5:30. 6 p.m. is a presentation. After that, there's public comments.
That's gonna be when?
And that will be January 7th, Tuesday. So yeah, first week in the new year. And, you know, basically this is the process where CPRA describes, you know, every dollar it's going to spend for the next fiscal year of the state, starting July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. So, that's it.
That's it? Any questions, Dan?
One question, the sheet pile wall at the pump station.
How about that?
Well, I know, has there been any resolution? My
No.
understanding is that there's still a lot of seepage going through the wall.
I guess. I mean, I'm assuming yes. I mean, I hadn't seen myself, but since we talked, but yeah, there's been meetings on it. You know, along with the landowner. I've actually passed along. Actually, the last meeting I was at, I actually passed along email, you know, with the concerns to Bryn, you know, our executive director, and the assistant, the deputy executive director, and the project manager on this issue. Honestly, I haven't heard back on a resolution on that. They are working with the landowner, okay, to resolve, you know, issues that they would have with that. But you know, I did ask that they would at least reach out. You know, if you don't hear, you know, I'll say like I said last time. You know, reach out to Bryn. We can, you know, we can get together, whatever. I think I've reiterated that a couple of times. You know, about your concerns about maintenance on taking over that wall.
And that concerns all of us, because,
Right.
you know, issues with that section, if they're not, you know, it's given to us, and we're given the problem, and then we're gonna give the problem to Turbo.
Yeah, I mean it's
So
active
all
right
of us are
now.
tied into this.
Yeah, I mean it. You know, it's hot. I mean they've been meeting on it just as recently as last week. So, but no resolution.
And the landowner is very concerned, and it has reached out to me as the attorney and to the board, so there is some serious concern about
And
it.
I want to talk about it with Reggie here and Mitch here, so they're really, this is not normal maintenance, what we're talking about. If
No.
we get turned over this thing and the condition that it's in, there are gonna be some long-term problems, and it's not normal maintenance, and we're not take care of normal maintenance, everyone should take care of normal maintenance.
So when's the deadline we should be looking, where we should have a concern that that's not resolved, and we take over the maintenance? What
Well,
deadline we looking at?
You know, that one,
We have not issued substantial completion yet. That is a milestone for sure. There are a couple other issues there too. Maybe they may have to do some reseeding. That's the first milestone. I mean, we have not reached that point yet with the contractor, but you know, I mean, it's time now, I think, to get this resolved.
yeah, and I just want everybody to be aware of that this thing, if it gets turned over to us, it's a problem. It's not a well-functioning section of that system.
I mean, the landowner's concerned because the seepage is so bad, his private pumps are having to pump the extra flow that's coming as a result of it.
That's along that back sheet section.
Yeah, it's a bad design.
Yeah.
They had sheet pile wall, and they put rocks against it. You don't do that. Sheet pile walls always seep a little bit, but you put differential pressure, you're gonna make those little cracks that big, and that's what's happening. Usually what we do is you have sheet pile wall in dirt, and then if you got an erosion problem, you put the rocks on the dirt. They're not touching the wall, and that's what's causing the problem.
But I can see us
CPRA is
meeting
working
on that.
to
I can see us
resolve
meeting
that.
on that. I mean, we would probably need to get together and, you know, approach leadership.
Daniel, are there?
CPA is working to resolve this.
Yeah, but I'll say this. I mean, honestly, at this point, this is what I reiterated to our executive director, is that, you know, we are working to resolve things with the landowner, okay? That is not the same as your concerns.
That's
You
right.
see what I'm saying? It's a completely different issue.
You know, they're turning
I
something.
mean, you could probably
We don't
say,
want to
yeah,
accept any condition it's in.
so.
We have the option of not accepting it?
Well, I'm about to go back legally, that's why we're here to talk about.
And the
what-
problem we
if-
have is
if-
we're kind of being brought in between
Yeah.
because the landowner's contacting us and saying, this is a levy issue, levy district issue.
But,
That's creating a problem to me as a private landowner.
but not only that, Rick, we need to know what maybe look at the agreement we have with CPO.
Right.
I assume, you see, when we did this with the court for years, they had to give us the project the way it was designed and functioning project.
Yeah.
We've never had a project done by CPRA tried to give it to us, okay? And there's no problem, but here we have a problem. And can we reject until it's fixed to our satisfaction is the question. And so that's why, just how our agreement is, what we signed with CPRA, now we got to look at the details a little bit on it.
We didn't design it, but we're stuck with the
Yeah.
design.
And that was my question, when does it become a serious question, a problem with us, when we say, well, now we stuck, everybody walked away, now it's.
No, that's what we said, when they turn it over to us,
Right.
that's what really needs to let us know.
What's that-
If we
what's
can
that-
reject that being turned over, that's the point.
There's a process, but, I mean, we're not there yet, but, that's why I mentioned that we haven't even completed our construction contract yet, so.
But one thing I do know, if we get a bad thing, we turn it over to Randy.
So-
That is in our agreement.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, he's
So we all
That's
have
why
the
it's
vested
stuck in
interest to
here.
get this resolved. The Terrebonne levy district, Lafourche levy district, the landowner.
it's all circular.
Did
All
the
circling up the dam.
engineer, the design man deviate
I'm
from
right there with
normal
you.
practice?
What's that?
Did the designers deviate from normal practices?
Without, getting into too many details, I mean, I met with the first meeting with these guys, and I'd say, I asked that very question, with the design team, because it was a team, it was, some, consultants as well as, in-house. And, my question was, why did we design it this way? The only thing I got, the answer that I guess that I ascertained was they said it was inconstructible. The clay it was cut down to a +1. Basically if you had the clay up further, it leaks on high tides, right? It leaks when the tide gets significantly above 1, right? So it'll come through those interlocks, sheet pile. But if it was clay a little higher, up like we're used to, you probably wouldn't have that issue. I asked why that is the situation, why it was designed that way, and even with the change in the pump station, that was still the original design. I don't know, we just didn't, honestly, that's still in the air. I didn't get a good,
My understanding is that you had an inexperienced engineer working in this area. And then with the committee working, that's a terrible way to have
I
stuff
mean-
slip through the cracks.
Going
Again,
through it.
we usually build these projects, but CPRA won't do it. And this was, I think
Boy, that was
Garrett,
so old, yeah.
Garrett had decided years ago
Yes,
that they
that
would,
was-
CPRA would like to see if they could build a project. So this is the project.
And as
Right.
I was advised as the attorney for the board, we've never had this design before. And of course, I'm getting videos from the landowner showing it leaking like a sieve. It's just-
Yeah, that video is famous now.
Yeah, so,
Everybody knows.
Can we fit in the future that we do design and y'all do the painting?
I think it would.
Hey, I mean,
Eliminate that part.
I would suggest that, but I mean, no, it's like you said, you're gonna have to look at the agreement, see what's in there. I don't think CPRA wants to,
Put a bad taste.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mitch?
So Daniel,
Yeah.
how are you resolving the issue with the landowner?
Again, nothing's finalized, but things to resolve, the issues to resolve with the landowner, it's almost like a tit for tat. We can do things for the landowner that have nothing to do with fixing the sheet pile. You get what I'm saying?
That's another issue.
It's like you can satisfy a landowner by giving them something else, but that doesn't solve the issue.
and
The person's
fortunately,
gonna take
this
it-
landowner has a pumping system,
Yeah.
whereas most landowners would not.
Right.
Now look, he could agree
That's
to an
what's-
agreement with him, and he comes to us for not.
Well,
But you
that's
see,
what I'm-
it's
that's what I'm saying.
It's just two different issues.
Wear and tear.
But what I'm saying is,
What do we-
I think it would be important, especially since Reggie's holding the pail on this deal, that we bring him into
Sure,
these
definitely.
negotiations, because
Yes.
there is a liability potentially here.
I can say right
Outside
now,
of them.
right now, the items that are tossed around to resolve the issues with the landowner / lessee, it would not resolve this problem at all. And yet it would satisfy them.
So, Mr. Program Manager, I'm directing you to get your own engineers to issue a report on this.
We need to all come to the table, okay, and
Everybody needs to come up to this
Yeah.
one here and get it right.
And look, I'll reiterate it again to Bryn, because it's just, I found that even the last time, I said, look, we can negotiate and resolve landowners' issues, but it's not gonna solve, you know, the end user. You know?
Bad design.
Yes.
It doesn't solve the bad
Right,
design.
yeah. So, that's it. I didn't think I was gonna get out of here without that issue. I tried my best, man. I tried to-
It's over, that's enough.
Well, no,
But that's good, it's a good
Thank
question.
you.
But I know it's important that
Yeah.
Reggie and Mitch need to hear
Yeah,
this,
you're
because
right.
it falls in their lap.
It is.
You can't boil water with a sieve.
All I need is a welding machine and I'll take care of it.
It's something to move those rocks.
Yeah, how expensive would it be to remove the rock?
It was looked, I mean, we looked at that too, you know, I mean, that was,
Move the
that,
rocks, bury it with clay, and get the rock back.
Besides the cost, that's the only thing I see that could be a permanent solution, besides the cost of doing it.
that's exactly what I had proposed, you know, why can't we do this, you know, as a
What's the
solution?
length of that levee?
What, maybe 30 feet? 40 feet.
No, it might be a little on that, you just talking about the sheep pile?
Yeah, the sheep pile, yeah, what's the length of the sheep pile?
Yeah, shoot, I have to look.
And that's what the problem is?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
no, it's the sheep pile in front of the pump station.
No, it's, they have the discharge pipes. Discharge went out, they had a bulkhead. CPR wanted to replace the bulkhead with sheep pile.
Right.
Instead of a bulkhead. And when they put the sheep pile, they had the water up against the sheep pile, they put the rocks there. Instead of putting dirt. And then the rock.
The clay was only up to a +1.
Yeah.
Tide gets above +1, if it's there a significant amount of time, it's gonna leak.
What's the dump of the sheep pile?
Something like
Rocks
that,
and put
yeah,
some dirt.
yes, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, is that good?
Anything else you want to talk about, Daniel?
Daniel says enough, he's getting.
I'm out, bro.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, moving on to project engineers, Ms. Yoder Associates, Dan.
First project is Highway 1 elevation and realignment, Lee Ontario Rock. So we go with metal, Barry Fowler is the contractor. The project is complete, the lien period has expired. So today we have a final balancing change order on the agenda, and then we have 2 applications for payment. The change order is a deduction in the amount of $24,673.13. That had 8 days to the contract time.
That's for the demurrage or the,
For the hurricane and some additional work.
that's on the project.
That's correct.
So
So need to,
you need to approve that one first.
yes, sir.
Okay, we need a motion to approve change order number 1 to credit for a credit of $24,673.13 to the levee district. Your wishes, gentlemen. Moved by Max, second by Mitch. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And we have application for payment number 10 in the amount of $13,686.25. And application for payment number 11, which is the retainage, in the amount of $122,974.11.
You understand this correctly, the $122,000 is minus the $24,760 credit?
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen, you understand it? Okay, we need a motion and a second. Moved by Keith, second by Roland. Any discussion on this matter? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. On both, aye, nay, motion carried.
Next project is Low
That's
Road.
legal what I did, I'm Mr. Attorney.
The road's floodgate improvements and protection, phase 5, the steel A-frame wall, the concrete eye wall, sea level construction is the contractor. They're currently driving the H piles. They're gonna start driving sheet piles on the west side in the next couple of days. They are currently about 10 days behind schedule, but they're kind of changing things around to get it back on schedule. They've submitted a pay application in the amount of $192,435.80.
You heard the recommendation of our engineers to pay application number 6 to sea level construction in the amount of $192,435.80. Your wishes, gentlemen. Moved by Roland, second by Monty. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Levee section east south, shaking and grading phase 2, lowland construction company, Inc. is the contractor. They issued a notice to proceed on December 2nd. So right now they're currently moving equipment on site, trying to do grass, kind of just getting the project kicked off. Levee section E north, levee improvements. We've completed the plan, the specifications. We've received approval from CPRA on the plans, and we're waiting on rights of ways to be acquired before we proceed with bidding the project.
You don't expect any action from us to deal with
Not
that?
today.
Any right of way, so.
Not today, yes, sir. And on section D south, levee improvements, SBL Construction LLC was the low bidder. They awarded this project last month. We're currently processing the contract documents. And then we're also waiting on a right of way from ConocoPhillips to proceed.
Who was the low bidder?
SBL Construction LLC. So once those right of ways are acquired from ConocoPhillips, we'll begin construction. Section F, we've completed all the surveying, and we're about 20-25% complete with the project plans. I'd estimate we'll be finished by next month. We'll have a set of plans for Wendell to review. Section A East, levee improvements, field surveying is complete. This project's kind of on the back burner right now. We want to bid out some of these other projects before we get started on this one. But the field work is done. We'll start the plans probably in January or February. And the Golden Meadow Pump Station flood wall, we have a set of plans that's done. We'll call them 95% complete. We'll submit the plans to Wendell for review and comment on later this week. And then once we finalize the plans, we'll send them to CPRA, get their approval, and then we'll go out for bid.
That's the lowest part of levee and Golden Meadow.
Pump station. Okay, gentlemen, have any questions of them? Okay, GES.
Lafourche freshwater water level control. Bad news is we still don't have a permit from the Corps on that. Good news is though, as opposed to last year and the year before that, they're actually talking to us about getting that permit done and stuff like that. They asked us a question, they told us to move the levee, for instance, away from the loop flood wall. It was already away from the loop flood wall, but they wanted to make sure it was. So we made those changes and resubmitted them. So we are making progress.
There was nothing else that they asked, right? I didn't see anything.
That was the only thing they've asked in the last month. They asked that in the last couple of weeks.
letter yet?
I just hope,
Did send them a dirty
We haven't sent them that dirty letter yet.
I just hope that we have it approved and we're gonna go on into construction. Okay, any questions, John?
Thank you.
I see Angela, it's you, Neil.
All right, on the section B North, B South levee improvement, that's the baseball pump station at Golden Meadow Park. That contractor, Ponce Train Partners, is continuing with construction. Today, we're recommending their pay request number 30 in the amount of $169,409.64.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation of our engineers to pay Ponce Train Partners, their request number 30, in the amount of $169,409.64. Your wish, gentlemen. Moved by Max, second by Monty. Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I have one question then. How much more do we have on this project?
There's only a couple $100,000 left of construction work, and then we have a retainage of 5% of that project total, which is going to be right around $500,000.
Yeah, but that's a long time, it's not
No,
right.
that's-
But what we have is, when we're finished with this, even with future compaction, probably won't have to spend any big money for another 10 years. We've got so much, we're gonna have the height, and we're gonna have a big enough berm that we can take from the berm inexpensively with our equipment and just subside it and have it on top. So, we've spent a lot of time and effort here. Catfish Lake is opening up, it's an important area, but But it looks like at least that section will be in good shape, whether we have a lot of money or not in the future.
Okay, and Morganza to the Gulf Reach L. This is from Apache Farm all the way to Grand Bayou. Those plans and specifications are being finalized, and we will have them this month to submit to the levee districts and to the CPRA for approval.
Okay, any questions of Neil? Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, Delta Coast Consultants, Mitch?
Rolls off the tongue, You just gotta slow it down a little bit. So, most of this is tied up in FEMA right now. We're going ahead and we're examining how much damage or lack thereof we have to the terraces. And we're gonna have to use the acreage created to reposition where we're gonna put some of these. So that's ongoing, and we should have something finalized in the next month or so in terms of that. Meanwhile, they're out there still doing, what we need to be doing. We do need to get together and go take a ride. So maybe we'll put the airboat in to go look at the marsh creation project. So, in terms of the issue with seepage, we're going to come up with a recommendation, and I think it's probably, I'll get with CPRA and figure out what they come up with, but I think it's something we could probably handle pretty easily. I did look at it with you before. I didn't realize that it was still an issue. So we'll come take a look at it, make an assessment. So we don't have any current liabilities or any future liabilities in terms of that. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Mitch? Thank you, Mitch. All South Consulting Engineers.
All right, we have two projects to report on. The first one is Reach K marsh mitigation, which Wendell had a slide in his presentation earlier. The contractor has completed his containment burns, dikes at this time, and after a couple of weeks of settlement period, suction dredge will be mobilized on site and begin that process.
Well, I know it's around a lot of time, but how long do y'all think it's gonna take for the dredge work?
For the dredge work, I can get you that answer once I get with Gavin. I know they plan on mobilizing right at the first of the year, so about the second week they'll be making progress.
Oh,
Second project that I have to report on is the Reach K Access Road, Phase 3. These plans and specifications have been finalized of preparation, and I expect that to be done ready for in-house review this week, and within the next couple of weeks they can be forwarded on to review. Once again, this project is from the South Levee control structure on Reach K, and then going back towards Terrebonne Parish, about 8,000-9,000 foot section. But this is what we're looking at this time.
Any questions, Brandon? Thanks. Okay, and Pat?
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Nick Mathern with Aptum. On the Grand Bayou floodgate, the intergovernmental agreement for funding with CPRA has been fully executed, and all of our contract docs, plans and stuff are ready for bid. We're just waiting for the go-ahead to pull the trigger on advertising for bids.
Any questions, Nick?
Thank you.
Okay, legal permits and rights of ways, Mitch?
Don't have any this month.
Okay, Mr. Attorney?
Nothing.
Okay, Finance Committee, Monty?
Finance Committee met prior to this meeting and wants to approve all invoices as presented.
Okay, further recommendation, and a motion by the Chairman, Monty, seconded by Mitch. Any discussion? If not, we'll go, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Personnel Committee.
Okay, we're gonna have a special meeting on evaluation of employees concerning pay increases for 2020. So we're asking the board to give you permission to authorize the Personnel Committee to approve those pay increases after that meeting.
Okay, so we're going to have the organization now after the next meeting. Okay, your wishes, gentlemen, you've made a recommendation for the committee chairman. Your wishes, moved by Mitch, seconded by Keith. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
That's it, thank you.
Okay, Any old business? Any old business? Any new business? Any new business? Need a motion?
Is it revised on-call policy?
Correct. It's a FYI, we're revising the on-call policy for personnel, beginning January 1. We have every personnel required to be on call, so it's a FYI.
Okay.
I need a motion, still need it. Moved by Bonnie, second by Bob. All those in favor, by saying aye. Aye.